Two farmers planted seeds side by side. One lost everything in a single night. The other survived, not because he was smarter, not because he was luckier, but because of the very thing he once hated about himself. And once you hear this story, I promise, you will never compare yourself again. But let me ask you something first. Have you ever looked at someone else's life and thought, why is everything so easy for them while I'm struggling just to keep up? Your friend buys a new car. Your neighbor's kids get into the best college. Someone on Instagram is living your dream life while you're just trying to pay bills. And suddenly, your own achievements feel small. We've all been there. But here's the truth. What you think is holding you back may actually be what saves you. Let me prove it to you with a story. In a quiet little American town, two farmers lived side by side. The first farmer, Daniel, was admired by everyone. His fields stretched wide. His crops were tall, green, and flawless. At the coffee shop, people would nod and whisper, "Daniel's farm is the pride of the county. Look at that field. It's like gold growing out of the ground." Next door lived James. His land was rough, filled with stones. His crops were patchy, weak, and uneven. While Daniel harvested truckloads of grain, James barely scraped enough to feed his family. And the hardest moment came one evening when his little daughter tugged at his sleeve and asked, "Daddy, why doesn't our field look like Mr. Daniel's?" Those words pierced deeper than any storm. Every morning, James stood at the edge of his rocky field, staring at Daniel's perfect crops. And he sighed. Why is his land so fertile and mine so cursed? I work just as hard, sometimes harder, but no matter what I do, I remain behind. Slowly, comparison poisoned him. He bought new tools. He worked longer hours. He tried new methods. But no matter what, Daniel's field always looked better. And the more James compared, the smaller he felt. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Maybe I don't deserve success. But what happened next would flip everything upside down. One summer, the sky turned strange. Heavy clouds gathered over the town. At first, people celebrated. Rain meant prosperity. But this was no gentle rain. The wind roared. Thunder cracked like a whip across the sky. Lightning lit up the fields. And then, for days and nights, rain hammered the earth without mercy. Daniel looked at his proud crops and reassured himself, "My field is strong. Nothing will happen." But James sat with his family by the window, his heart pounding. His crops were already weak. He whispered, almost begging, "God, please, just leave us something to survive on." The storm raged on. The soil softened. And then it happened. The tall, flawless crops in Daniel's field began to sway, then fall. One by one, they collapsed. Their shallow roots couldn't hold them in place. By the time the storm passed, Daniel's perfect field lay flat, destroyed. The next morning, the townspeople rushed out to see. Gasps filled the air. Daniel's entire harvest, gone. But then they turned toward James's field. They stopped in disbelief. James's smaller, weaker-looking crops were still standing. Bent, bruised, yes, but alive. Why? Because all those years when James struggled with rocky soil, his crops had been forced to grow deep, stubborn roots. They didn't look impressive above the ground, but underneath, they were strong. And when the storm came, those deep roots saved them. For the first time in his life, James realized the very thing I hated, the struggle, the stones, the hard soil, was the reason I survived. James sat in his field, tears in his eyes. He remembered how many times he cursed his land, how many times he compared himself to Daniel, how many times he thought he was less. But now he saw the truth. Daniel's success looked shiny, but it was shallow. James's struggle looked small, but it built strength. One storm revealed what comparison had hidden all along. And isn't that just like life? We spend our days comparing our journey to others. Their paycheck versus ours. Their house versus ours. Their highlight reel versus our behind the scenes. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Fast success builds ego. Slow success builds roots. Storms don't destroy you. They expose your foundation. Comparison blinds you. It makes you judge the surface and ignore the roots. So let me ask you, what storm are you facing right now? Maybe you're drowning in student loans. Maybe you've been rejected from job after job. Maybe your health feels like it's slipping. Maybe your family life is full of pressure. It feels unfair, doesn't it? Like others have it easy while you're left with the stones and storms. But what if, just like James's crops, your struggles are giving you roots? What if your storms are shaping you into someone unshakable? What if the very thing you complain about today will become your greatest strength tomorrow? Comparison whispers, "You're not good enough," but your roots whisper, "Be patient, you're being prepared." Next time you feel the urge to compare, remember the two farmers. The field that looked perfect was destroyed. The field that looked weak survived. Life is not about looking impressive, it's about lasting through the storms. The race of life isn't won by who grows the fastest, it's won by who can stand the longest. So stop asking, "Why is their life better than mine?" and start asking, "What strength is my struggle giving me?" A farmer doesn't dig up his crops every day to check the roots. He trusts the process. He knows growth takes time. And so should you. If this story touched you, share it with someone who keeps comparing themselves. Because maybe the thing they think is their weakness is actually their strength. And once you understand this, once you truly believe that your struggle is building you, you will never compare yourself again.